Hello, hello, and welcome to the session. And this particular one is created by the statement. This is a declaration. This statement is, I will, capital will, map the mystery. And it's about that place in our personal growth where we've read the books and we've done the work, and we suddenly realize that to really understand the next step in ourselves, we've actually got to step outside of the learning that we think we've got and the knowledge that we think we've got. And we've actually just got to step out and start looking around with new perspective, new eyes, new way of understanding. And that sounds kind of straightforward, right? That this new way, read the book. But what happens is reading the book, someone else's perspective, and feeling that we can go into the world and keep who we are the same, but we want going out into the world to be different. And that's where the rub is. So the rub is that we think we're going to be us, but in fact, in order to have the outcome that is in our heart's desire, we actually have to be more than us. We have to be us from a new way of looking. And that is where Hermes Trismegistus, whose name means thrice blessed, thrice majestic, is where he steps in for us. So we've actually decided we are going to be different. We are taking the steps and we are going to come and look at the world and understand that we have to change before the world can change. And that can be quite a harrowing moment because before that time, we thought we could read the books, do the study, be who we were, and the world would change how we wanted to while we stayed the same. And it's not that way. It is, however, in the way that once we understand that what we've created in our reality, all the world is mental, a mental creation. The universe is a mental creation. Our reality is our own mental creation, as it's described in Hermetic law. When we understand that, we understand that actually we have the capacity to change the mystery as long as we're willing to change ourselves. And that internal, inward readjustment of how we look at the world, that readjustment of family patterns, of close friends, of the people around us who we see as holding us solid in who we are, and understanding we can be different with them too. So we can re-image ourselves within those relationships. And when that happens, startlingly and oddly, the world begins to change. Where Hermes comes, though, is in the mystery of it. So it sounds very cut and dried. I'm in a relationship with someone. I wish the relationship to be different. I can see that there's something between us, and I'm just going to change that. But I have to change this. And I'm surprised then that that changes. So the mystery is the change. And the mapping of our own energy patterns is how we start uncovering that. And to do that, we actually have to be able to contemplate a worldview where incredible things are possible. And a little bit Alice in Wonderland, that I will believe, I don't know how many she was going to believe, but she was going to believe a number of impossible things before breakfast. And my first sense of working with Hermes was when I first read in a book that all the actual matter of the entire human race could fit into a sugar cube. Now take that for a moment. All the actual matter of every person alive can fit into a sugar cube. So all of the rest of all of the people is now non-linear, non-matter, spacious, and is essentially as spirit, is as the air we breathe, is as the sunlight that falls on our skin, is as the energy that comes. I mean, if there's a sugar cube does the whole of the human race, I mean, I'm not even a little, corner of that sugar cube that someone's going to drop in their cup of coffee and it gets sweet. I'm not even there. And so if I'm not in any way that which I sense myself to be, that I'm not matter or mass or physical, what does that allow me to be? If I am now in a world constructed by my thinking, in a reality that equally is as insubstantial as I am, as holographic as I am, what's possible? What becomes possible if nothing is actually real as we would contemplate things being real? What becomes possible? And out of those things came this learning that Hermes gave to us that was around Hermetic law, that was captured in the Emerald Tablet. So this inspiration, he inspired these masters who were in human body to write these things down. And this is where as above, so below, as within, so without. So the key here is that at every step, the capacity for each of us to literally recontemplate our existence in a new way at any point in our existence, that we can recontemplate it. And that is where Hermes comes in. So I want you to just close your eyes for a minute and just now feel into a moment where at the opening of your eyes, it's possible that things are quite different. That when you go to sleep at night, when you open your eyes, it's possible that your reality might shift. That when you work your way through your dreams, there's Gabrielle as part of that. But in the dreaming, that liminal space between the dream and the awakening, that things could change. And this is all of the space of Hermes. So it's alchemy from the point of view, not Uriel brought the fire, which is the element that creates change. Hermes Trismegistus brings the precision and the practice and the approach. He brings knowledge that allows us to find wisdom. So just for a moment, let's find a breath that speaks for him. Excuse me. And the breath that we're looking to find is a breath that's shaped around the infinity loop. And where Hermes sits is in two places. So he is in the change, the acceleration and deceleration. So feel in your own way how the breath in goes right to the edge of a lobe of the infinity loop. And then as it turns round and you breathe out, and there's some speed, and the very end of the breath out, it decelerates again. And then the breath in again, acceleration, off to nothing again, to zero. And just follow your breath now as the inhaling and exhaling, with no particular path or counting or expecting anything. And the place you're looking to fall into is the place in between the very end of the inhale and the beginning of the exhale. The place in between where the speed has shifted to a point that something is emerging and then suddenly is. So liminal spaces, between spaces. And in particular, feel the feeling in this breath, the fineness of it. And with that focus on allowing the inhale to come to a very, very natural ending, that then very, very naturally turns into the beginning of an exhale. Notice how that space in between becomes clearer, brighter, and almost as if that space in between could indeed be the moment that lasts forever. A place that you could jump through. And that feeling of jumping links to the toroidal fields that are us, that is the world, that is the universe, that is the flow of energy, where it seems as if things are a bang, clear, gentle flows of energy, and then suddenly a star will disappear down the toroidal field and reappear somewhere else entirely. The toroidal field is the creation of the white spot in the black field on the yin and yang symbol, and the black spot on the white side, where it looks like they do not belong, but indeed they are the end of the toroidal emergence. They just feel that energy now flowing through you. And that capacity for something to suddenly disappear down the middle of the toroid and end up quite unexpectedly somewhere else. That is the feeling of Hermes Trismegistus. The unexpected, out of the blue development. And we're going to follow through now, working with him to actually map the chakras. And our goal in this is to not heal them. We'll look to bring healing with Raphael next week. But in this journey through our chakra system, we're just looking to map the toroid and that pathway between. So with the feeling of the breath still moving through you, and that sense of wonder and surprise and between spaces, you can feel already the presence of Hermes Trismegistus. The great surprise that you are so insubstantial that the whole of the human race fits inside a sugar cube. The great surprise that you turn around and someone unexpected that you love is there just behind you. The great surprise, the knock at the door, people who you have longed to see have turned up for your special day. This is the energy. So feeling that feeling of his presence. Begin with this breath, where the breath disappears at the very edge of the lobes of the infinity, so that it is almost as if you hung in space in nothing and everything. And just allow your awareness now to cast all the way down to the very base of your tailbone, into the root chakra, and just feel for a moment now your energy there. And you may, if you like, imagine a red color, but you also may just imagine your presence where you are, deep in your energy system, at the very foundation of all energy vibration for you. And with the breath flowing to those places where it disappears and reappears, bring that in between breaths now and sense how there is a connection. As you breathe in, sense how you can lift your awareness to a space just underneath the belly button. And how as you move in that direction, there is a movement perhaps from red to orange, but also perhaps it's more just your sense of presence. That you are now focused, all of your attention is here. Your knowingness of your sacral chakra is here. And you are mapping that movement from the base, from the root to the sacral. And with another inhale, find your own pathway now to the solar plexus chakra. Just above that belly button, somewhere between the belly button and the bottom of the diaphragm. And here we have a wonderful yellow, golden light, sunlight, bright light. Just feel here, this is our mental willpower. Feel the willpower to keep focus and clarity and rhythm as we use the breath again to lift up and to find ourselves centered at the heart of all things. Here we have Anahata, the heart chakra. Again, you might feel some green, but you equally might just place your presence here. And when you feel the time is right, using that breath again, inhaling and lift to the throat chakra. Feel here the vibration of your breath in the throat. You might feel again a blue color. In particular, feel the presence of your awareness and focus on that breath in the throat, on the vibration of the breath. You hear and sense the vibration of your whole rhythm, your whole resonance, the you that is you. And now for the next breath, as you lift up, just lift underneath your closed eyes. Lift your eyes up and slightly together. And as you lift your eyes, lift with your breath and find yourself just between and above the eyebrows. You're at Ajna chakra, the third eye chakra. And just feel how there's a very tangibility to this chakra as you work with it. The eyes lift up and focus in and back to feel an absolute sensation and perhaps a very, very deep bluey purple. An absolute sense of perception, perceiving, and indeed projecting. And then take another lift, this one to the crown right at the top of the fontanelle. Again, you might see a color, perhaps you see a violet as you lift your eyes up, focusing inward and upward. And then as you focus here, allow now the breath to feel the toroid. So the inhale, with every inhale, there's this wonderful fountain of energy that's coming from that central place in the center of the top of your skull, and it's lifting and reaching as this wonderful explosion of your personal energy centers, all lifting up. You've lifted them up with this mapping work. And then now feel how this beautiful violet colorway falls down around you, all the way around your physical form, to settle there again at the root chakra. And here there is a mixing and a mingling, the violet and the red. And you lift up again. So allow now the breath to flow all the way up. Allow the expression of the energy to come all the way through the crown. Feel it beautifully flowing around you, as if you are in this cascade of vibrant, illuminated, energetic aliveness. Keep lifting your eyes up and in, and just allow this flow from root to crown. And just as you're in this space, in this movement of energy, notice how there is an absolute simplicity to your focus. Notice your awareness of your own energy centers, and in particular of the flow of the energy. Notice your capacity to direct your energy. Notice your capacity to resonate in your energy. Notice and be amazed by your ability to be in vibration and agreement, mind, body, and spirit. Notice and expect that as you move through this time and towards the next phase of sleeping, that as you awaken the next morning, that things will have changed. And your capacity to notice the changes and be absolutely amazed by them, to be surprised and delighted by them, to see them as the movement and the moment that your life experience changes, as you have changed your inward perception and your inward relationship with your own energy. Breathing the cycle a few more times. And in your heart of hearts, just give absolute thanks to Hermes Trismegistus for the knowledge and the circumstances that he offers us, the perceptions, the questions, the curiosities, and the mystery that he offers us, so that we can turn knowledge into wisdom and shift ourselves into a whole new reality, because we are the knowing that is inside all of it, as we are part of the whole, just as the whole is part of us. With many thanks, with so much gratitude. And so it is.